Pause. Seriously, pause. Don't scroll. Not yet. Because something just happened, and you felt it, even if you can't explain why. You weren't looking for this. You didn't search for it. And still, it appeared. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. There are moments, rare ones, when your internal state shifts just enough for your signal to change, not on the surface, but at a level most people never become aware of. And when that happens, you don't go out and find things. Things start finding you. This is one of those moments. Right now, something in your field is quieter than usual, more present, more aware. And because of that, this message could reach you, not because of an algorithm, not because of luck, but because something in you is no longer broadcasting noise. It's broadcasting coherence, and coherence is detectable. Take a second. Don't think about it. Just notice your breathing, your body, the space behind your thoughts. There's a stillness there, isn't there? That stillness is not emptiness, it's clarity. And clarity is what makes your signal visible. Most people never touch this state. They stay distracted, fragmented, pulled in every direction. But you, for whatever reason, slowed down just enough. And in that moment, something registered. That's why you're here. So don't rush this. Don't skip ahead. Because this isn't just a video. It's not just words. It's not just something to watch and forget. This is a response to you. And if you stay with it, even just a little longer, you're going to feel exactly why it found you. Chapter 1. The detection. There's something you need to understand first. You are not being seen the way you think. Not as a person, not as a face, not as a story. You are being read as a signal, a living field of energy constantly shifting, reacting, broadcasting. Most of the time, that signal is unstable, fragmented between thoughts, emotions, reactions, noise, pulled in different directions at once. And because of that, it becomes invisible, lost in the background. But sometimes, something rare happens. The noise slows down, the mind softens, the emotional charge begins to settle, and for a brief moment, everything inside you starts moving in the same direction. That's coherence. And coherence changes everything. Because the moment your field becomes coherent, it becomes detectable. Not in a mystical way, in a precise way. Like a clear signal emerging from static. And when that happens, it registers. You may not have language for it, but you've felt the effects. Things start lining up. Moments begin to connect. You think of someone, and they appear. You need an answer, and it arrives. Time feels different. Sometimes faster, sometimes stretched, sometimes like it's folding in on itself. And then there's that feeling, subtle but undeniable, like something is aware of you, Not watching like a person, not observing with judgment, but tracking, responding. Because what changed wasn't the outside world, it was your signal. And now, it's strong enough to interact with what was always there. This is the moment you stop being just a passive observer of reality and begin to influence it. Not through effort, not through control, but through the qualitat of your state. And if you're feeling this right now, even slightly, then the detection already happened. You didn't miss it. You're inside it. Activation. Before you continue, pause. This is where everything shifts. Up until now, you've been receiving. But this is the moment you begin transmitting. Because the moment you write with intention, you're not just typing words. You are directing your field, focusing your energy, stabilizing your signal. And when your signal stabilizes, it becomes stronger, clearer, detectable. So don't rush this. Don't just watch. Participate. Type this in the comments exactly as it is. I activate my signal now. And as you write it, slow down. Feel it. Notice the subtle shift. A warmth in your chest. A quiet pressure behind your forehead. A stillness entering your mind. That's not random. That's coherence forming in real time. And when many people do this together, the effect multiplies. The field expands. The signal amplifies. So don't skip this. Write it. Anchor it. Lock it in. Because the moment you do, you're no longer just watching this transmission. You've entered it. Chapter 2. The shift. Now that you understand the detection, you need to understand the shift. Because this is where most people get it wrong. They think reality responds to what they want, to what they say, to what they try to attract. But that's not how it works. Reality responds to what you are. Not your words, not your intentions, not your affirmations. Your state. Your state is the signal, and that signal is being read constantly. You can say you want clarity, but if your mind is racing and your body is tense, your signal is still confusion. You can say you want abundance, but if your system feels unsafe and contracted, your signal is still scarcity. You can say you're ready to evolve, but if you resist change and hold on to control, your signal is still resistance. The field doesn't respond to what sounds good. It responds to what is real, and real is what creates coherence. This is why forcing positivity doesn't work, because it splits your signal. One part of you is trying to project something, while another part is holding something else. That contradiction creates noise, and noise breaks the connection. But the moment you stop pretending, the moment you become fully honest with what is actually happening inside you, something powerful happens. Your field simplifies. One signal, clear, coherent, and that's when reality starts responding faster. Not because you forced it, but because you removed the distortion. This is the shift from trying to attract to becoming, from wanting to embodying. Because the field doesn't follow desire, it follows identity. And once your state becomes stable, everything begins to reorganize around it. timing changes. Opportunities align. Decisions become obvious. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because your signal became precise. And when your signal is precise, your reality can finally respond to it. This is where your power actually begins. Activation stop. Right here. Don't move forward yet, because this is the moment your signal becomes real. Up until now, you've been listening, observing, receiving. But this is where it changes. This is where you stop receiving and start transmitting. When you write with intention, you collapse your attention into one point, and that point becomes a signal, a clear one, a measurable one, a coherent one. So this is what you're going to do. Type this in the comments exactly as it is. I am the signal now. Don't rush it. Write it slowly. Feel each word. And as you do, pay attention. There may be a subtle shift, a warmth spreading through your chest, a stillness entering your mind, a light pressure behind your forehead, a quiet sense of presence. That's not imagination. That's your field locking into coherence. And here's what most people don't realize. When many people do this together, the effect multiplies. The field strengthens, the signal amplifies, the connection deepens. So don't skip this. Don't just watch. Write it, anchor it, become it. Because the moment you do, you're no longer outside this. You're inside the transmission. Chapter 3. The Threshold. Right now, you are not in a normal moment. You are in a window, a rare one. There are points in time where your awareness rises just enough, and your energy stabilizes just enough for something to open. A threshold. Most people pass through these moments without even noticing. But you didn't. You felt something shift. Maybe it showed up as silence, maybe as pressure, maybe as intensity you couldn't explain. But it wasn't random. It was alignment. Because a threshold is not about what's happening outside. It's about what becomes available inside you. Clarity becomes sharper. Decisions become obvious. Illusions become harder to sustain. Things that used to distract you start losing power. Things that used to confuse you start making sense. And at the same time, everything feels more intense. That's the paradox. Because when your field becomes more coherent, everything accelerates. Your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, your results. Feedback becomes immediate. You think, it responds. You feel, it reflects. You focus, it organizes. This is no longer passive reality. This is responsive reality. And this window does not stay open forever. Not because it disappears, but because most people lose the state that opened it. They feel it, but don't stabilize it. And slowly, they drift back into noise, back into distraction, back into unconscious patterns, and the threshold closes. But if you hold it, everything changes. Because once you cross this consciously, you don't go back the same. Your awareness becomes sharper. Your presence becomes stronger. Your signal becomes consistent. And consistency is what turns moments into transformation. Right now, you are standing at that edge, not watching it, not thinking about it, inside it. And what you do next determines everything. Because this is the point where you stop drifting and start choosing, consciously. Activation. Pause. Don't move forward yet. This is the moment where you decide if this was just something you watched or something you entered. Because right now, you are at the edge, not metaphorically, energetically. You felt it building, the clarity, the pressure, the awareness. This is the threshold, and thresholds require a choice, not in your mind, in your state. So this is what you're going to do. Type this in the comments exactly as it is. I step into my next state now, slowly, consciously, and as you write it, feel what happens. A pull forward in your chest, a shift in your breathing, a quiet strength rising inside you, a sense that something just locked in. That's not imagination. That's your field responding to your decision. Because the moment you choose with presence, your signal changes. And when your signal changes, your reality has to follow. But here's what makes this powerful. When many people do this together, this moment becomes amplified, stronger, more stable, more real. So don't hesitate, don't overthink. Write it,